Hey everybody, how is it going today? Well, I hope you're all having a great weekend. I want to do a update video on Bionano Genomics. I haven't done one in a couple days, and it actually came down to the price level that I was looking for, so I ended up getting a position. So I'm going to tell you about that, and plus go over their recent news, and then I'm going to tell you what I expect in BNGO for next week. Now, if you're new to my channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like to find undervalued stocks with high growth potential and talk about all other things finance-related as well. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. All right, well, I know this news is about a day old or so, but I just want to touch base on it and give you my thoughts. But the latest news said that Bionano Genomics Incorporated said Friday it had priced an underwritten public offering of 29 million shares at $3.05 a share. It says the genome analyst company also has granted the underwriters Oppenheimer, BTIG, Ladenburg Thalmann, and Maxim Group a 30-day option to acquire an additional 4.3 million shares at the offering price. So there could be over 33 million additional shares hitting the market, and there are approximately 153 million shares outstanding, so that's a pretty decent size offering. Now, when I first saw this news, I thought, 305 was a bit low in this market anyway, because if the market is red hot, you should take full advantage of it. But, who knows the exact day when they filed this? They could have filed this on the 31st when price was right around $3 a share, but who knows? But I had also heard a couple people saying that Bionano Genomics was announcing they were expecting to come out with some pretty good earnings, but I couldn't find anything on it, so I'm not sure if that's true. If any of you guys have heard that, please let me know down in the comments section. And if you have a link, please leave that there too, because I'd love to read more about that. All right, well, I'm going to get right into the chart right now. Here is the daily chart of Bionano Genomics. And as we can see, it finally came down to this 8-period exponential moving average. I had been talking about this for several days. I thought BNGO was going to come down to this average faster, but it took a while just because it has been strong and just hanging out at this level. But I managed to buy some in the beginning of the trading day at $3.96. If you click on it, it shows that the 8-period exponential moving average right now is at about 409. But when the price was coming down, it was down around 395. So I took my position right there. With a lower moving average like this, like the 5 or the 8-period, it's going to move around a little bit during the day. It's not like the 21 or the 50 where it pretty much stays in the same area. As the stock is volatile and moving up and down, it's going to have an effect on this moving average. So buying at the 8-period exponential moving average is not an exact science. Like I said, because it moves around a little bit, I just try to get in pretty close to it when it comes down to that level. But anyway, I bought some at $3.96, and when the stock bounced back up to the 8-period exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, I sold off half of my position because I was anticipating that BNGO might sell off again and make a new low, and I was going to buy it back, but it did not make a new low on the day, and in fact, it gained strength during the end of the day and closed near the high. And if you look over here to the right, it looks like it's indicating, at least early on Monday, it should be opening right around $5.08 a share, so it looks like it's going to be gapping up again. Anything can happen over the weekend, and plus, you still have the pre-market on Monday, so this price obviously is going to move around a little bit. But BNGO, for the most part, did what I was expecting. Except for hanging around this level for so long, but I expected it to pull down, hit that 8-period exponential moving average, and then find some support and move up. But let's take a look at the intraday chart real quick. All right, well, let's look at the 5-minute chart real quick, and I'll show you what I was thinking during this trade. But first, if I can get you guys to please hit that like button for me so we can get BNGO up in that YouTube algorithm. But anyway, this was where I put my order at $3.96. And we can see in that first 5 minutes, it busted through that order, but it only went down about another %, and then it had an immediate reversal. I was thinking after this reversal, we were probably going to get a little bit more of a sell-off. I really expected it to break this low in the morning, but it kind of hung around and it started to fade a little bit. But anyway, I sold half my position at $4.44, and I thought I was going to be able to purchase it back because it looked like it was going to make a new low, but that didn't happen. I mean, immediately strength came into the market and this thing rallied all the way into the close. So, I mean, if I had to do over again, of course, I wouldn't even have sold right here, but, you know, hindsight is 20/20, but I'm still holding on to half of my position, but, had a very, very strong close, and it looks like it's indicating it's going to open higher. So this next week, it should be strong because it had all the opportunity in the world to sell off this last week, and it just didn't sell off at all until they had that share offering announced. And honestly, what did this thing sell off for, you know, from 9:30 till about 1? I mean, that was it, and then it was just bought up right after that. So there are just no sellers in this stock. I mean, this stock is not cooperating at all. It is one of the stronger penny stocks that I have seen in actually quite a while, and that's saying something because there has been a lot of super hot penny stocks out there. Let me go back to the daily chart real quick. But getting back to the daily charts, this is what I am expecting for this week. I expect this move to bounce up a little bit higher, but I would be surprised if it made a new high super fast. I'm kind of expecting it to bounce up and meander around for a couple of days, and then when this moving average catches up, I expect that it to gain some more momentum from that moving average, and that's when I would expect a new high if we're going to get it. Now, on the flip side, I think Monday is going to be very important. If some weakness comes into the market on Monday and it gaps below this 8-period exponential moving average, or if it just sells off on Monday and closes below that 8-period exponential moving average, I would expect it to come down and fill this gap right around 350. And if it did come down and fill that gap, that is not the end of the world. That is not the end of this uptrend by a long shot. This stock is still super strong. And even with the sell-off and the turnaround that it had on Friday, you can see the volume was still pretty tepid, you know, compared to what it had on the move up. So, in my opinion, BNGO is still super strong, and if you're holding this stock, I mean, there's absolutely no reason to be worried about this pullback. This pullback is actually very light, and it's looking very constructive. So, I'm going to be sitting tight in Bionano Genomics and maybe adding on Monday depending on the market action, but those are my current thoughts on Bionano Genomics. Now, let's get into TRXC. I talked about this one probably 3 or 4 videos ago, how nice it was setting up, and it broke out this week. And I don't think I did an update on any of my other videos on TRXC this week, so let's get into that chart. All right, well, here is the current daily chart of TRXC. Now, we were talking about this one about a week ago in the Patreon as it was starting to build up pressure on this resistance area. It was finding support at this 21-period exponential moving average, this purple line on the chart, and it was starting to creep closer to that resistance area and build up pressure. And then once it finally broke through, there was enough demand to just give it this huge day where it was up about 100% on the day. But once it found resistance at about $1.25, it started to pull back, and that gave you a second entry. Now, if you are looking to if you have a screen that shows these like new monthly highs or whatever, and you see a bar like this, what you want to do is wait for that pullback. Now, I know in this market, these penny stocks are super strong and a lot of them aren't pulling back. But if you get that pullback right here, this will offer up a super opportunity to buy in at the 8-period exponential moving average, and then you can get another move up like this. And I think that this stock is poised to break out to a newer high on Monday. So this one is definitely one to watch because the momentum in this stock looks like it is just starting. Now let's go to the intraday chart and take a closer look at this trend. All right, actually, this is the 15-minute chart, but when you go intraday, when you are looking for your entry on these, if you want to add to your position, like a lot of times I like to add right at that 8-period exponential moving average, I like to buy half. And then once it breaks above the consolidation or the flag that it's making, depending on what the pattern looks like, that's when I like to double down, especially when it starts to hold this 8-period exponential moving average. Now, if I zoom in just a little bit, with these penny stocks, these consolidations are not going to be perfect. They're going to be quite sloppy sometimes. Sometimes they look pretty good. Sometimes they're a little sloppier than others. But anyway, what you want to do is draw that flag or that consolidation, and then once you get a break above it, if it starts to hold this 8-period exponential moving average, you know that the stock is probably going to be starting another uptrend. Now, at this point, you never know if it's going to find resistance at the previous high or if it's going to blast through it. Lately, these penny stocks have been super hot, and there's been a lot of momentum behind them. So more than likely, a lot of these penny stocks are going to be breaking out to the upside. But this is just what I like to look at on the intraday chart to better refine my entry point. And if you can be patient and wait for these consolidation type patterns to play out, and then once it starts to turn, then enter, you will reduce a lot of your false signals. And honestly, if you want to look at the 15-minute chart, and if you want to see if it's turning a little sooner, you can go to the 5-minute chart and start to look for it to turn on that time frame. But what you have to remember, the earlier the time frame you go on, the more false signals you're going to have. You get more concrete intraday signals on 15-minute hourly charts, and even 4-hour charts than you're going to get on the minute chart or the 5-minute chart. But I mean, if a stock is looking clean in the 5-minute time frame, especially if it's moving really fast and you're trying to catch a fast move, I do like to use the 5-minute more than the 15-minute. But when a stock is pulling back and starting to turn, I like to use the 15-minute and the hourly if I can, just because there's less false signals on that time frame, and I'm not so worried about getting in super early on the turn. I would rather screen out a bunch of false signals than get in too early. Get in, say, on this stock would have been like an extra nickel or 10 cents sooner if you probably caught it breaking, turning around on the 5-minute chart. To me, that's not worth it. I would rather just screen out, a bunch of false signals and only take the better signals. But that is how you want to trade a pattern like this on TRXC. But I don't think it's too late for this one. If it's strong on Monday, I think it has a good possibility of being strong for the whole week. But that is how I would trade TRXC. All right, folks, that's all I have for you in this video. If you have any questions or comments on Bionano Genomics, please leave them down there in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If I could ask you to please hit the like button for BNGO to push it up in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so you don't miss any future trading or investing opportunities. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. And until next time, take care, everybody.